All right, I am going to teach you what I'm actually talking about when I use the word alkaline. Many of us have never even heard the word alkaline unless we're talking about batteries, but so there's a number. Well, let's back up. So everybody knows that our body needs to maintain a certain temperature, right? And that number is 98.6. Most people know that it's around that. It fluctuates a little bit, but 98.6 is where we need to be. And if we get too warm, our body has mechanisms to bring it back down to 98.6. If we get too cold, right? So if we get too warm, we'll break out in a fever to bring it back down. If we get too cold, our body will start to shiver or use energy, right, to warm us back up a little bit to get back to that 98.6. If you go too far above that, if you have a very high fever for an extended period of time, it can be fatal. If you drop too low, it can be fatal. So you need to be at 98.6. Very important number. Anybody in the medical field will tell you, anybody will tell you 98.6. But there's another number that nobody talks about, and it's 7.36. 7.36 is the pH of our blood. It's the pH of your blood and the person next to you's blood, probably my blood. The pH of your blood means, if you go back to your chemistry days, everything has, different chemicals have a different pH. Well, different foods have a pH. Different parts of our body have a pH, right? So my blood needs to be 7.36, but the pH of my blood, it needs to be, or my stomach, needs to be very acidic, right? So that it can digest food. There's, stomach acid in there to digest that. So every part of our body has a different pH, but our blood needs to be 7.36. Now our body has mechanisms to keep it at 7.36, right? We have functions put into place to make sure that we don't ever drop below 7.36. If you drop below a 7, you're gonna go into a coma, right? If you stay below a 7, you don't get any medical intervention, you're gonna die. Like, that's it. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. So the concern is, well, how does my body keep it at 7.36? Well, what it does is it goes and it finds alkaline minerals. So if we eat something that's very, very acidic, we eat something with a pH of 4, we put it into our body, it could potentially adjust that 7.36, and we don't want that. So our body has an amazing system in place where if our pH starts to drop, or if we introduce something acidic into it, it needs to be a little bit alkaline. Alkaline means above 7.0. Neutral is 7.0. So 7.36 is our blood. It's slightly alkaline. If we introduce something into that environment that's a little bit acidic, our body goes, nope, that's not going to be okay. I don't want to go into a coma. What can I do? And it goes out on a scavenger hunt all around the body to find alkaline minerals. What are the alkaline minerals, Jenna? Calcium, magnesium, sodium, potassium are the 4 big ones. Well, so I don't get it, Jenna. How exactly does this work? Well, let's say I get very acidic. My body will go into overdrive to find those alkaline minerals. Now, if I've been eating very well and I have I just had a salad or a smoothie or fruit, whatever, and I have a bunch of alkaline minerals stored up, tucked away, then my body goes, okay, right over here, no problem. But if it needs to dig deeper, it will go into pockets of stored up minerals, alkaline minerals, that it's kind of like a scavenger hunt. Like, okay, I'm gonna look over here, and then I'm gonna look over there, and okay, look, go, everybody, look, the ankle, right? Because one of the main alkaline minerals is calcium. Anybody know where you might be able to find a bunch of calcium in the body? The bones. The bones. This is why in an acidic body there's so much joint pain, there's so much back pain, is because when the body doesn't have excess alkaline minerals stored up, it will go and find calcium from the bones. I didn't know this. I had no idea. So what we need to do is we need to maintain 7.36. The easiest way to do that is to flood our body and have a lot of alkaline minerals. And that's why, in an alkaline environment, this is a very controversial statement that I'm about to make. There's no virus, there's no cancer cannot live in an alkaline environment, viruses can't live in an alkaline environment, And that's why when you hear people that, oh, I drink smoothies and I drink juice all the time and I never get sick anymore, that's why. Because when you're alkaline, when you're maintaining an alkaline environment, right? When I say you're alkaline, it doesn't mean, like if I say last night after dinner, I had, pizza and I got very acidic. It doesn't mean my blood went down to 7.36. It means the environment in which I introduced the food into my body, that environment was acidic and my body had to work overtime to stay alkaline. But I have a ton of alkaline minerals stored up, so it comes back just like that, not a big deal. For people that aren't eating fruits and vegetables, they're not able to do this. So it really wreaks havoc on their body. And when the body is in that acidic state and somebody coughs on them, or they, are introduced to some kind of bacteria or virus or whatever, it's going to wreak havoc on the body. But in an alkaline environment, it can't survive. And that's why some people get sick all the time and some people don't, is sometimes they're eating a more nutritious diet. And so the reason that all this is so important is because that 7.36, nobody's teaching it. Nobody knows anything about this. But guess what also lives in a very alkaline environment? Tons of energy. Tons of energy. So people being exhausted all the time, if somebody tells me that they're exhausted all the time, I know that they're probably acidic. If you're watching this video right now and you say, I don't know, I don't really eat fruits and vegetables, but I don't know if I'm acidic, you're probably acidic because your body is trying so hard, and I would argue that you probably also have some kind of joint pain, right? So getting sick, being tired, and then being overweight, if you're overweight, you're over acid. You're not over fat, you're over acid. And I'll talk about that more, but this alkaline number is so incredibly important, and the best way that we can get alkaline is fruits, vegetables, nuts, seeds, right? The very alkaline minerals, beans, there's certain grains that can make you alkaline. I'm gonna teach those as you stick around and watch some of these videos, but I wanted to really define what alkaline actually means and why it's so important, because nobody taught me this, so I want to really explain it in depth for you. And as you have questions, please let me know. But I'll be posting all kinds of ways to get your body alkaline, and you're gonna start to notice a difference. So stick around, enjoy the journey, and I welcome you to the life of being alkaline.